Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. Spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, you know, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, you know, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. You know, and so, you know, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out about until it was too late. It's a shame. Love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks, welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brian here with Rob and Ashley, and we are currently watching another high-limit race at Grandview. We're here to talk about the glorious weekend at Dover, and Kasey Kahne, as Truelove likes to say. So, folks, how are we doing this week?
I'm doing great because I'm watching some sprint car racing right now, and it's true. Kasey Kahne is out here in the 39M again, having a pretty decent run, no question about that.
I've yet to see him.
He's up there. Well, the battle up front is pretty good between Reitzel and Abreu, and he's floating around third and fourth, fighting with Chase Dietz, and he almost wrecked his own car. But then Dason Pursley finished the job by kind of arcaing his way into Brent Marks just now. But there's nothing he could have done to stop that. But we're already doing it. We're already way off track. How you doing, Truelove?
I'm good. I'm about to put us even more off track as I talk about my weekend real quick.
Yes. Yeah, you had quite the time in Maryville, didn't you?
I did. I went to Maryville, Tennessee again for the third year in a row. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but my boyfriend works on tour with the band Black Bear Smoke, and every year they have a 3-day show at this place called The Shed in Maryville. It's like attached to a Harley dealership, but it's a great place. It's a cool spot, like a beautiful area. The staff is amazing, and all the like band wives and family come out, and it's like a big reunion for all their fans. So.
Yeah.
It's just a big party for 3 days, but I was there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Thursday I got to hang out with Kyle Armstrong for a minute. He came up for all 3 nights, so
Nice.
went out during the show and hung out with him.
Yeah, rare weekend off for him.
Yeah, I was surprised, but he said that he requested that weekend off, so that he could go to the Shed, so I'm glad he got to come. Friday... so part of this weekend is they do a motorcycle ride on Saturday, and my boyfriend takes his bike up every year. But we have to tow it up because we both have too much shit to take. And towed it up there, unloaded it, and as soon as he unloaded it, it was all fucked up. The battery was dead. So
Perfect.
Anyway, all that to say, Friday we had to get up early and drive over to Pigeon Forge to a different Harley dealership to find a battery for his bike. And I used to go to Pigeon Forge every year as a kid. That was like our family spring break.
Hell
was
yeah.
Pigeon Forge. But I haven't been there in probably 20 years, I'd say. So I wanted to like drive up and down the strip real quick, and it looks completely different than what I remember, but
Yeah.
we didn't have time to like stop and do anything cool, but I did see that
Go to
NASCAR
Ripley's,
Speed
believe it or not.
Park. Yeah, I did see that NASCAR Speed Park's still there, and we did a lap through the parking lot of BJ McLeod's racing coaster.
Funny enough, my parents were up there in Pigeon Forge like Wednesday through Friday, and I told my mom to stop by
really?
there, but I don't think they did. Yeah, they were just there to do touristy shit.
Ride the coaster.
Well, there's tons of touristy shit. But yeah, next time I'll have to partake in the coaster, but it looks nice and shiny and expensive.
Yeah.
Not very many people there, but
Yeah, Pigeon Forge is the drunker version of Branson, is what I remember it being.
yeah. So I saw that in person, and then at the show that night, I hung out with Kyle again, and Ken Bob was there.
Yes.
For this night, and we saw them earlier in the day, and Ken Bob blessed us with a stack of his poker chips that he had made that say Yee Yee Man on them. And they have a AI image of Ken Bob giving a thumbs up and holding a beer.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a big fan of AI, but I got to say that that logo is actually pretty good.
yeah, so got a stack of those. I promised Kyle that I would post that on the podcast post this week.
And you can follow Ken Bob on TikTok, Ken Bob the Yee Yee Man.
That's now I'm sad that I don't have TikTok. He needs to get an Instagram.
He does need to get an Instagram. I agree with that.
But yeah, during the show that night, I went out and hung out with him again, and I heard enough yees to last a lifetime during that. But there was one yee that he let out after a song, and Charlie got on the mic and complimented how good it was. So
Nice. Yeah, you get him flowing. Then once he gets warmed up,
Yeah.
they really sing.
Once they start, it's like Pringles, but
Exactly.
yeah. And one other note I had was Saturday morning, they do the bike ride before the final show. And they get all the riders together for a big group photo before the ride. And, Andy's always he's got to take the group photo. So he goes and stands on top of a table to be able to get everyone in the photo. And, he's always wearing some kind of NASCAR-related hat and shirt. I think he had on a Richard Petty shirt. But he takes the photo, and in the silence, some old man screams for no reason, "Go Hocevar!" And Andy made a face. And then later, during the bike ride, they make a pit stop for lunch, and that old man, he finds us again, and he's like, "Hey y'all, did y'all like my Go Hocevar?" He's like, "That's pretty good." He's like, "That's my buddy." He's like, "Y'all like Hocevar, right? Y'all big Hocevar fans?"
Pick the absolute wrong group to ask that question.
And normally, if I'm conversing with a stranger, I'll try to just keep it pleasant and agree just to not have any disagreements with strangers.
Yeah.
But I just could not bite my tongue on this one. So I said, no, can't say that we're fans of Hocevar. He's like, "What? Really?" He's like, "Man, that kid, he's Dale Earnhardt. He's the Dale Earnhardt that we got right now.
That's exactly why you don't like him."
Yeah.
He just kept on with that. And we were just like, ugh.
Well, I'm glad the guy that Brian and I paid to find you managed to complete the job.
Yeah, so conversed with him a few times. And my one final note from the shed is there was literally a trough in the ladies' bathroom.
There's Truelove's literal piss trough corner this week.
Hello.
I didn't see anyone piss in it. I didn't piss in it. You're supposed to wash your hands in it, but
Someone's pissed in that before. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. So a man has pissed in that before.
I'm going to say a woman's pissed in it, too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked.
No, not at all.
so I'll share a picture of that too. The ladies' piss trough and the Yee Yee poker chip.
God,
That was my weekend in Maryville.
that's a lot of goofs being tied up at once there. That's great. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to that blackberry smoke deal. Definitely, probably not all 3 days. I'm not. I do like them. Not my. Not a band I'd spend 3 days with. I don't think.
Right. They always have good openers too for each night. A different opener each night. So.
But I've heard good shit about the Shed for a long time. I know that's a pretty killer spot. By the way, Aaron Reitzel just picked up the High Limit win in Grandview, so congratulations.
Where's Kasey Kahne?
He got 5th.
5th. I thought he was better than that.
No, that's better than he was in the Outlaws.
Yeah, let's not forget it took him 20-something years to win an Outlaws race. With that, now we can talk about Dover. The big all-star weekend, and I think I was the one who watched the most of all 3 races, even though I didn't actually watch all of the first two, but we'll still talk about it anyways.
I had to watch them on my phone, so.
Yeah. It's going to be a great show this week.
For the truck race, so before the race, and I don't know the names, but somebody's pit cart got loose.
It was a Spire. I'm not sure which one.
Somebody's Spire pit cart got loose, getting wheeled into the track, and almost ran over a Fox reporter. I forget who. Not Jamie Little, but somebody else. And do you know the name of the crew member that saved her?
I don't. I didn't take
Donovan something.
notes.
He's a Hendrick guy.
Yeah, Hendrick guy. Managed to save this woman, and there's some grainy video footage of him saving the day. And he got a slight injury, just like a wound, some sort on his ankle, I think, or something like that. He had to get some stitches.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty lucky, because I don't know if you guys have ever been around one of those pit carts, but holy fuck, those things are heavy. Like, I've pushed him up the banking at Stafford before, and that's not even that high banked, and looked like that thing had a good bit of speed going, so that could have killed somebody.
I did see Denny Hamlin's fiance comment that the two of them should start dating, because that would be a great beginning of a love story.
Yeah, it could be the
meet cute.
The intro to one of these new NASCAR TV shows coming to cable pretty soon.
Yep.
The actual race itself, so Clinton Boyer, he returned to the track for I don't know how many years he's been off, but
it's been a while.
He did not have a great day. I know he got into it with Luke Baldwin and was pissed about him, and I don't even know if he finished or not. I know he didn't do incredibly well, but I can't say I'm surprised about that.
He is driving a Ram.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, he eventually had some kind of mechanical issues that took him out.
That's what I thought, yeah. The Squirrel Curse came back yet again and wrecked. What the hell is this kid's name? I should know this by now since we talked about it. Cole Butcher. Once again got wrecked in the race.
He wrecked himself. He slapped the wall really hard. So.
A bunch of wrecks. Destiny Spurlock, she ended up losing it after about 30-something laps and wrecked.
That looked like something out of the simulator at the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Dover's not an easy track to debut on, but she made the race and was it's her first time, folks. Give her a chance. Yeah. Someone who doesn't deserve a chance though is Natalie Decker, and boy did she have another wonderful weekend. I feel like she got black flagged right off the bat for something.
She jumped the restart, or she pulled down out of line coming to the green.
Yep.
Which is a no-no.
And then I don't know, did she get a speeding penalty or something?
She couldn't maintain minimum speed.
Couldn't maintain minimum speed, and then just completely lost her shit on the radio, bitching about the tower, saying the fans were going to shit on her again, which, yep, that's true. And just said she doesn't ever want to race a truck ever again, and told her her boyfriend her husband could drive the truck next week.
Perfect. So he drives race cars a lot more than she does, so maybe that would go all right. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. I feel two ways about this, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because I think she gets enough. But why spend all this money and effort and time on individual truck races here and there? Like, when you've already had time out of the race car, and the previous time years ago didn't go all that well. To just jump back in under these pretty high-profile circumstances when you clearly don't have it, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me from a career standpoint. And it clearly is, and again, part of the reason I don't want to shit on her right now, any more than I already have, is because whether you like it or not, there is a stigma against women in motorsports, and all those girls deal with a great deal of criticism. I mean, look at fucking Catherine Legg, all the shit she's got for trying to run the double coming up here. It's completely unwarranted, Yeah,
for sure.
She's a professional race car driver, and it grosses me out that she takes so much shit because of the obvious, right? Even though she's totally qualified to do it. And Catherine Legg's been in a bunch of cup races that you didn't even know she was in. Which is how you want to be if you're driving one of BJ McLeod's cars around in 40th place. But, I have a hard time wanting to pile on here, but I do think it's time to maybe, if you're going to chase the racing dream, maybe go back to something where you can get more reps in and actually build it into something rather than just diving onto cable television and having a panic attack.
I don't think she really races much, outside of when she's in NASCAR to begin with.
No.
And unfortunately, she does kind of live up to every negative stereotype for women drivers. It sucks to say that, but I mean, she kind of does. So, obviously not trying to be misogynistic or anything, but I mean, she just doesn't belong. So,
now over to the person who could be misogynistic is Truelove.
She belongs in the O'Reilly series, so
very much not true.
So do I. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as far as the actual race itself goes, I mean, it was a Kyle Busch show. He dominated the race and didn't lead every lap, but led most of them and got his 69th nice win of the Truck Series career.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, and he's also now the all-time lap leader, I think, for any series at Dover. He's led like over 1,000 laps or something. And really just proving, my theory or my plan for him that I've talked about, where just go race the trucks, man. Go get yourself 6 truck titles and fucking, do that.
Yeah, I'm guessing the paycheck to drive a Spire truck isn't as much as it is to suck at RCR, but
I'm sure, but still. But yeah, that was a truck race on Friday. Moving on to Saturday was the Busch race, and very quietly, we didn't even mention on the show last week, but BJ McLeod, our boy BJ, he was in the Jordan Anderson car, I want to say.
No shit.
DGM number 92.
That's it. Yeah. Yes, that's it. With his
sponsored by the Racing Coaster.
Yep, sponsoring himself. He actually qualified in the top 20, and I think was running in the top 20 most of the day, but he ended up falling out with a mechanical failure, so that was a bummer. For the third time this season, Rajah Caruth got into Jesse Love. I was pretty sure he was going to say it on the radio. I don't think he did, smartly enough.
Larson's not his mentor. So. But they do run the same midget circles, so who knows? Didn't Rajah admit that, or say in his interview that, I know I got one coming now?
Oh yeah, he absolutely did. He's like, I can't apologize anymore.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, that was the biggest talking points of the race, aside from the victory. Corey Day got his second win of the season, pulling it off with a very cool pass over Justin Allgaier and some lap car who was in the middle of this shit in the middle of a turn.
Well, he was going a lap down. I forget who it was.
Some nobody, someone I've never even heard of. But yeah, Justin Allgaier was not happy with that kid after the race, and had a probably a nice stern adult talking to, from what it looked like in the video that I saw. But yeah, killer pass by Day. I mean, again, not necessarily a fan of his, but you can't deny a move like that. So yeah, he got his second win and got out of the car and just there's just nothing there with him personality-wise. There really isn't. Great driver, but just nothing there at all with him.
Yeah, he's definitely an AI-generated man. But again, this Corey Day, this is why Hendrick is backing him as hard as they are, and I'm glad to see him figure it out. Again, anyone coming from dirt, I'm going to be stoked to see succeed. And what I say to you guys after it happened, we're about 1 or 2 more straight-up wins away from me being able to go back to fully hate on him again, like I do in sprint cars. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this one. How about you, Truelove? How do you feel about Corey Day?
No comment.
Yeah.
I turned it off immediately. So.
All right, and moving on to the dreaded All-Star race. So before we even get into, I guess, the race itself, I mean, this pretty much, like every single person said, was sucked as far as the all-star format goes. But we'll talk about that in a second. I didn't see any of the pit crew challenge, but I do know that a bunch of guys spun out.
Ironically, that was the only part of the weekend I really watched. It just I happened to have an hour, and it was on TV, and it's entertaining. I do love that qualifying format.
Yeah.
With the hot lap into the pits and then the lap out. I think that's really entertaining.
Yep. Denny Hamlin managed to spin out, pulling onto the track, and then still managed to get the pole, which shouldn't really be that much of a shock. Todd Gilliland's team won the actual pit crew challenge, though, which was a little bit of a surprise, but I know they've had pretty good pit stops all year, so good for them.
At something.
Yep.
I still get him and Zane Smith confused because in my notes I wrote Zane Smith, but it's because they switched numbers.
Yeah.
I still haven't adjusted.
As far as the actual crowd and everything, there was a pretty packed house, which was good to see. I mean, you have to factor in that, this part of the country doesn't get many races, and, Dover's been around for decades, and they have a pretty fervent fan base there. So, they showed up, which was good, and which is what needed to happen, really. I mean,
you got to think that the subtext of this whole weekend is that Dover is eventually going to leave the calendar. Getting slided with an all-star race.
We hope not. I'm
just saying, as a fan, if there was a weekend to show up when you don't want to, this was it.
Yeah, and from listening to Dale Jr.'s podcast today, he said he talked to Marcus Smith, and he said Marcus all weekend was just like, we're here, heard from fans, we're here because we want our points race back. So that's good. Hopefully it happens because, the racing itself was fine. The PJ1 added to the racing quite a bit, which is good, and tire fall off was good, and just, again, for the all-star format was just atrocious. It was almost a full race. It was 350 laps.
Yeah, 200 laps at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and the race itself starts off. So I was actually I was still on my bike ride for the day when the race started, and I had MRN on, and they're calling the approach to the green, and then all of a sudden all the announcers' mics cut off, dead silence, and you just hear the track in the background, and then they go to commercial. What the fuck? And then they come back and 9 cars fucking wrecked. What? I don't know what the hell happened there, but yeah, that's how the race started. Lap 2, 9-car wreck. Just a mess in the back.
Yeah, Ryan Preece cleared himself off the nose of somebody.
Yep.
And then all of our favorite drivers piled in pretty much. So.
Yeah, I was watching on my phone, but I think we were in an antique store or something, so I got to it late. So when I opened my phone, it was lap 2, and the first image that I see is Priest climbing out of a flaming inferno on lap 2. I was like, what the fuck?
Off to a great start.
And yeah, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, pretty classic Dover wreck. When something happens there, it's so narrow that it gets big quick.
Oh, yeah, dude, I've watched a handful of old 90s races, and the wrecks there are fucking bad. But yeah, the end of the first 75-lap segment ended with another 9-car accident. I think Chase Elliott was in both of those, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he got out of the first one okay, and then the second one just ruined him.
Yeah. So I don't even know. I have no fucking idea as far as who was. I mean, obviously I know which cars were supposed to be in it, but I forget. I think 3 cars were supposed to transfer from the end of the second segment to, the quote-unquote main event, but because so many other
6 cars were supposed to.
Six cars made it because so many of the supposed starters wrecked out, so they just let 6 guys in instead of 3, and that also included the fan vote deal, which Daniel Suarez was awarded the fan vote, but I'm sure that's because Grags and whoever else couldn't continue. So I was very surprised to see Daniel Suarez won. Guaranteed he didn't actually win.
Yeah, they said that he wasn't even in the top 5 of the fan vote leading up to the race. So.
Perfect. Yeah.
In segment 2, yeah, there were a couple other small wrecks. I know one with Ross and Keselowski. I forget the other wreck, but...
The other one was SVG got loose in the lead up under Allmendinger.
That's right. Should also mention, to no surprise, that Denny Hamlin, led the majority of stage 1. He ended up, coming in second or third. Bubba won the first stage. And then they inverted the field. And who won the second stage? Reddick, that's right. Yeah, he was fast. I mean, Toyotas were fast, of course. I mean, that should come at no surprise at this point in the season. And yeah, the final stage, the length of a fucking bush race. It was a battle for the most part between Briscoe and Denny Hamlin. And the main problem with Briscoe was he did not have as good of a long run.
He also doesn't have Andy Newsom.
Yep.
In the stands, which, by the way, guess who was on the property? Andy Newsom and a good chunk. All the boys were there, it looked like. And, of course, that all but guarantees Denny Hamlin a visit to Victory Lane. So,
yep. Which he did. He won the $1 million prize, which has been the same prize for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
You would think with inflation they'd want to bump that number up a little bit.
No.
But,
You would think.
Nope.
Said he's going to buy furniture for his mom's new house, so that's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it. That was the dud of an all-star race that took way too long and was in the middle of the day. And, I don't think anybody came out of this weekend excited, even Denny Hamlin. So, but hopefully Dover is not going away because they deserve a points race. It's still a good track. It's still a good race. It just is not an all-star track. So,
yeah. By no means.
Even as a diehard fan that watches every week, I had no idea what was happening at any point of any of it.
Yeah.
Especially leading up to the final stage, because they had people that were locked into the final stage who wrecked out, who were allowed to go work on their car for the rest of the first 2 stages and then pop into the third one. And then the fact that Chase Elliott, who's locked into the final, couldn't even be in the final all-star race because he got wrecked out by some dingle hoppers in the first 2 stages. There should have been a separate open. They never should have all been out there at once.
Yeah, I don't understand why they got rid of that, because that's literally worked for as long as they've done it. It's never not worked.
Yeah.
And the Open is great because you get a chance to see some guys who don't normally fight for wins. And you get to see them hanging out, which, again, there's a lot of great racing in the middle and the back of the pack that you don't really get to see on television all that often. And that's kind of a chance to see that, oh, yeah, these guys actually have some moves. And then, but yeah, no Open. Fuck it. Let's...
But congrats to Eric Jones, finished 3rd, and Zilich got his first top 5 of the entire year.
Yeah, he had a
no points
day.
to show for
Doesn't count.
And speaking of points, no fantasy league to talk about this week, but we'll be back next week.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, I do want to say, for anyone that hasn't played Fantasy League yet, for the 600, the garage locks at the end of stage 3, since there's 4 stages in this one.
Yep, so. I was going to say, this is the endurance challenge of the weekend. If you're like me, you drink a lot of beer during the 500. And once you get to the 600, it is a test of mental fortitude to try and not pass out on the couch. And wake up at 1 a.m. disappointed in yourself, which happens every other year for me. So, not this year, because I'll be up at Claremont, unfortunately. But, plan accordingly, get a Red Bull, put an uncomfortable chair in your living room, like dragging an old wooden folding chair or something, and put that in the center of the room. Don't sit on the couch. Stand. Do what you have to do. If you want to win fantasy this year, because the 600 is a bit of a slog for fantasy, because you forget you forget it exists.
Yeah. It's a long day.
One more thing about Dover, I thought it was funny how much they were hyping up their fan zone, because there was nothing else to fucking hype up. ATYL, the folks that I've done a single video for so far, because big modified events aren't happening right now. I think they had somebody from Dover on there, and he was hyping up the fan zone, the giant inflatable rubber duck, which is quite large. I'll give him that. But the kid on there, he was talking, we had the world's largest inflatable rubber duck. We got a 2-story Busch Light Bar. There's going to be signage everywhere. He was like hyping up the signage. He was like, if we're talking about how many signs we've put up, then that doesn't bode well for this event.
Yeah. Get the seals. Bring out the sea lions.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it did look pretty cool. I do want to get down to Dover at some point, and hopefully it does get a points race back, because I am not driving all the way down to the coast for a fucking all-star race. That's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, there was also an ARCA race, an ARCA East race in Toledo, which I was going to go to, but by the time the afternoon came, I was just incredibly ass-whooped. It was my first weekend flea market of the year, so this is my wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday time of year, and yeah, by the time I was like, just going to the race, like I just couldn't get off the couch. So sorry, Bobby.
You missed out on the funniest wreck we've seen all year.
Well, yeah, he warned me ahead of time of the foam block situation, which I'm familiar with because I've been to tracks with those before.
Like Oswego and
yeah. So, but yeah. Explain the wreck, because I saw a clip, but I don't really remember much about it.
I don't know who was in that. Do you know Truelove?
I know
Andy J was.
Andy J. There was 2 lap cars that were battling. Someone named Koga and Goulet.
Oh, yeah, it's a
and
Koga,
they wrecked together, and Andy J was behind them in like 5th, and just got caught up in their bullshit. But I watched that replay countless times by now because it's so just comical, just back and forth.
Yeah, the foam held up. It didn't explode like it does at Oswego or like it used to at Memphis back in the day or places like that. It just kind of rearranged itself around the cars, kind of like Fortnite or not Fortnite, what is it? Minecraft, that's what I'm thinking. And these guys just trying to back out of it. It literally looked like a PS2 glitch. Like you're stuck in the wall or something, and you have to like restart your PlayStation. It was fucking hilarious.
There was also chatter on Twitter because Andy J races in vans apparently, and people were shocked to see that. So,
surprised that's allowed.
No rules in ARCA. Let's see. In other news, 80-year-old Richard Childress is going to be back behind the wheel, the Freedom 500 or 900, driving Crown Vics with Cletus and the rest of those ding dongs. So
yeah, up here at Stafford.
Yeah, are you going to go, Rob?
I want to go to one of those Freedom Factory events, but it sells out so quick. I'm pretty sure it's already sold out. I mean, it's the by far the biggest event of the year at Stafford. I went to SRX for the inaugural year there, and it was insane getting in and out of there. I love to see it. I'm stoked that Cletus is able to help out these short track. Not that Stafford really needs it, but it is pretty badass that they go to places like that. And as much as I'd love to see Richard Childress wheel a Crown Vic, I think I've missed my opportunity to do so.
It's first race in 45 years.
Yeah. Should go well.
Yeah.
Great.
I've never seen
Imagine if that's how Pop goes out of this world.
I was just going to say, you don't see people like Babe Ruth call their death very often, but...
He'd probably be psyched, though, to die in a fucking race car.
It would be... I don't want to see it happen, but it would be appropriate. Yeah.
Something. Already had his corner picked out in the stuffed room.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for Richard Childress, Stafford is one of the few short tracks in the United States that actually has a safer barrier, so he might make it out of there okay.
Yeah. The Athletic put out an article about the silly season going into 2027, and not a ton to report. Surprisingly, it seems like Kyle Busch is probably staying at RCR, but I talked about this a few weeks ago. Like, where else does he even have to go?
Yeah.
I would say the more surprising notes would be Riley Herbst moving over to Legacy. So he is just continuing his family's tradition of building teams and failing at his job. He did it with 2311, and now they're going to fund this new third charter for Legacy, apparently.
Well, I mean, it would make sense because 2311 needs to make room for Corey Haim.
Yes,
and
of course.
They have sponsorship for Corey Haim, I would imagine, or maybe it sounds like they might, or they'll be able to get it. And no disrespect to Riley, maybe a little bit, but I would, if I had to pick between the two, I would definitely pick Corey Haim.
Yeah, of course.
And Legacy needs all the help they can get financially, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. They got the Hootie's money now.
Oh,
so
yeah, they got they got the Blowfish bucks in there. Yeah.
Probably the most surprising thing is the status of the 48. I mean, nothing's been announced for that yet, and obviously Bowman's been on the hot seat for years. Corey Day is, the rumored successor to that ride, but also surprisingly, apparently Connor Zilich is also in the mix there. Hendrick could potentially buy out his Trackhouse contract, and what that would mean for Corey Day, who the hell knows? Because again, he is the next driver in line for a Hendrick car. So
I'll just fill in for McDowell.
What's that?
McDowell. I bet you that's where we go as the 7.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, who knows? Maybe Alex Bowman goes on a heater and they keep him in the car, but who knows? We'll find out.
It sounds, from what I've heard, and I think they even mentioned this on Door Bumper Clear this week, it might not be a Hendrick decision. It might be Alex just saying, I've had enough.
Yeah, that I guess is true. And, obviously Ally loves him as a sponsor. So, but yeah, it's really up to Alex, I guess, or Rick, who knows.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
It's not up to Richard, though.
Yeah. We have some Truck Series stuff to report. The San Diego Air Force Naval Base, whatever race, Jesse Awuji is back.
I fucked this up. I'm sorry, I made these notes and I did it wrong. He's actually going to run in the O'Reilly race. My bad.
Oh,
well.
Even worse.
Yeah, just as bad.
The Natalie Decker school of thought, just going straight to the top.
Yeah.
But in action. Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say he hasn't been in an O'Reilly car in over a year, so.
Which should stay that way.
Part-time Navy, part-time race car driver, so nobody wins.
There was a Temu Kasey Kahne announced to drive a truck. I think this is, which truck is this again? The 27 truck? Whatever the fuck truck that is.
27 Rackley War.
Rackley. Casey Klein, who again is like a weird Temu Kasey Kahne as far as I'm concerned. No idea who this person is. Never heard the name in my life. No fucking idea.
It's very bizarre because he spells Casey with a K, and his last name also starts with a K. And I looked him up. I was like, who the fuck is this kid fucking with me? And he's also from Washington. So
yeah, which again, that's what part of the whole Temu Kasey Kahne thing.
Casey
so
Kahne.
Weird. I saw that he's 18 years old, so my only guess is that his mom must have also been obsessed with Kasey Kahne.
That would make sense.
Our boy Corey LaJoy is not getting a waiver for the Truck Series Championship chase. Now, Rob and I were confused about this, but Bob Pockers actually tweeted out today why this is happening. I guess he's not getting the waiver because colleague, when Daniel Dye, was, suspended and then reinstated.
Excommunicated himself.
Because he was reinstated, colleague chose to take him out of the truck, and that's why they're not getting the waiver. If he got fired or just, or if he didn't get reinstated, I guess maybe he would have gotten it, but apparently that's the reason.
That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That makes less sense to me than.
Hey, listen, I'm just reporting what Bob says.
Yeah,
so.
I trust Bob, but that just makes no sense to me because you see drivers running multiple different cars throughout a season. So like, why is that tied to the truck itself. That just doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah.
I have my own theory. My theory is that he was denied this waiver because over the weekend he presented an award at the CMAs wearing a shiny alligator skin black cowboy hat that looked like a toy hat that you would wear to a bachelorette party.
From the Tim McGraw collection.
Yes.
Yeah, that actually is plausible, I think.
Yeah. So.
But now, Indy 500 preview, Rob.
Yes.
This is your place.
Yeah, my favorite event of the year, besides the Indy 500, of course, is Indy 500 qualifying. There's just something about it that I will sit there all fucking day and watch those guys rip off 4-lap runs. Sadly, this year, no bumping or anything like that. They only had 33 cars, which is the traditional field. Glad to see that there were 33 out there, but bump day, even when it is just one or two people fighting for that last row, it's one of the most electric sporting events you could ever watch, in my opinion anyway. I still go back and watch old bump day footage from years past if I have nothing else to put my attention to. But to no one's surprise, Alex Palou was on the pole, the 2:32.248 average. Pretty fast. No real chance of anyone cracking the record this year, which was also set by Alex Palou, annoyingly. This guy... I'm sick of talking about him, but that's what it is. He's by far the best driver in IndyCar, and of course last year's Indy 500 winner, so I expect we'll see more dominance from him on Sunday. Crazy things happen at the Speedway. Who knows? There's a lot of other fast cars out there. But I guess we'll see how it goes. Alexander Rossi and David Malukas filling out the front row there. I got a good feeling about Malukas. He looked pretty sporty all month, so I would expect to see him do all right. Alexander Rossi got into a little bit of an accident, if you will. It was actually a pretty fucking severe one. He backed it into the fence pretty hard, and collected Pato Award and Romain Grosjean kind of clipped it on the way by. All three of those cars absolutely destroyed. It sounds like they will get to keep their starting positions, even with backup cars. The only scenario where anyone would lose a position would be if the driver was changed, which we've seen that before in years past, where a driver stepped in for somebody else and they just go to the back. Rossi was the only one where there's any real concern for him maybe not making the race. He did hurt his little pinky or something like that, and his little tootsie. I'm playing it down. It was a pretty nasty hit. He got carted off for observation, and he definitely has some broken bones. But all indications point to the fact that Rossi will be starting the race from the middle of row one, which is good for him. He's doing pretty good over at ECR, and he's won the race before, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him power through whatever pain he has and put on a good show. Let's see here. Catherine Legg, we already mentioned this earlier in the show.
We didn't mention the fact, though, that this news broke at like midnight, the night after the night we recorded.
Yeah. Well, it seemed very much like BJ McLeod woke up in the middle of the night and was like, oh, shit, we should get Catherine to run the double. Which, let's be honest, out of anyone in the garage with the ability to make that happen, it really is BJ McLeod, because he's got a driver already in the Indy 500. Usually it's somebody coming from outside the IndyCar world, but when you got somebody who's already in it, it's probably a little easier to put him in your open car. Yeah. I'm very stoked to see this. I already said my piece about it earlier in the show when we were talking about Natalie Decker and women getting respect in motorsports, but this is a cool deal. Obviously, it doesn't hold the same prestige as somebody like Larson or Tony Stewart doing it, just because they have a real shot to win. And let's be honest, even if Catherine was in a Penske at Indianapolis and won that race, she's going to come over to Charlotte and not finish on the lead lap. I don't think BJ and the boys are going to be able to put a car out there that will be on the lead lap. So her chances of finishing the full 1,100 miles are pretty low. But still, just doing that, and if she makes it to the checkered flag at both of those races, that's a hell of an accomplishment that many have not been able to do. So
I don't need her to win. I just need her to complete more laps than Kyle Larson last year.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that shouldn't be too hard to do. We were talking about betting odds for the 500 before we started the show up tonight. Of course, Alex Palou, the favorite, at plus 250. I usually don't talk about betting on here, but I really do enjoy betting on the 500. Odds are pretty normal this year. There's no real surprises in here, but I will say that Takuma Sato at plus 3,000 is very attractive to me. They've also got Joseph Newgarden at plus 1,000. Remember, he came from the back last year. Scott McLaughlin also at plus 1,000, which is kind of crazy. And I guess your big long shot here, honestly, there really isn't one, to be honest with you, but I'm always going to put money on Ryan Hunter-Reay just because he has so much experience and he is driving for McLaren. Did not have a whole lot of speed throughout the month. They've had a lot of issues, but those guys know how to grind, and if it wasn't for an issue on pit road last year, he probably would have won the race. So at plus 7,000, I think that's a pretty good way to spend $1 or $2 or 10 or whatever you got. But yeah, Indy 500 this Sunday. It's the best race of the year. I'm actually going to get to watch it. They moved the show at Claremont back a little bit, so I'm really excited to have a chance to watch the whole race because it is my favorite event of the year. Sadly, it won't be in my backyard, and I have work at night, so I got to keep it sober. But that's okay. And go ahead.
I was going to say, don't forget, also, my favorite event of the year is Friday at 2 p.m. on Carb Day. It's
right.
the Weenie 500.
The Weenie 500 is back. Yeah.
Yeah. Weather permitting.
That is incredible. I wonder if they run those fuckers in the rain. They should.
Yeah, you can. They're doing 40 miles an hour. They're not going to crash.
Are they dualies? Like, I don't know what's going on here, but...
Listen, I see those fuckers in the rain on the highway all the time. They're fine.
One last little piece here before we move on. Like I said, I do have a good feeling about David Malukas this weekend. He's going to be my unofficial pick for the win. Other than Alex Palou, I think everyone kind of has him pegged, and that's fair. But yeah, watch out for David Malukas starting from the front row, and with Penske power behind him, I think he's going to be just fine. And also Scott McLaughlin, I'd watch out for him.
Yeah, well, that's the Indy 500 preview, and as mentioned, the Coke 600 is this weekend. Very excited for that. Also very excited for Amazon Prime returning. They also
I was excited about it.
Yeah. Kyle Larson documentary comes out Thursday on his 2 attempts at the double. That apparently is pretty good, so I'll be watching that at some point. But yeah, as Ashley mentioned, she is not happy because Carl Edwards is not the... What do they call his role? Like, he's not the analyst, obviously,
yeah,
but
they
like...
just call it the desk. It's like the pre- and post-race with Daniel Trotta, Corey LaJoy, and last year it was Carl Edwards, which was great.
And now it's going to be a rotating cast of mainly retired guys, but also Brad Keselowski for some reason. Yeah. He's doing one of them.
Carl is going to return, but just for one
just
event.
For one. And I'm like, this will be good. All these drivers will be great, but it would be even better if Carl was in there with all of these as a permanent desk jockey.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah. Martin Truex returning, and I don't know if he talks, so that'll be interesting. Never seen him speak.
Definitely the most shocking of this announcement.
For sure. But yeah, Darf of the Week. This was a fun one. There was a fight in the parking lot of Dover, apparently after the race, and pretty ridiculous. Like, it's not like a brutal fight. Like, there's a couple guys on the ground. I'm watching the video right now. A lot of slapping, a lot of hair pulling. Yeah. There's like half the people have just T-shirts with drivers' numbers on them for whatever fucking reason. No, there's an Earnhardt one in there, and I think there was a Chase Elliott one. No, there definitely is a Chase Elliott one. So yeah,
it's pretty goofy. The fight itself everyone involved in this does earn a Darf of the Week nomination. There's almost nothing at a racetrack, unless you're competing, that requires a physical altercation. But yeah, it's just stupid to do that. Where was that one comment that was really good? Because this guy gets one too. Hold on a second.
They never said, like, I never saw what the fight was actually about, but it looks like they were fighting over, like, merging in the parking lot to get out of the track. is what it seems like the fight was over. Like someone not letting someone in a lane or something.
Yeah, just sit there and have a beer. Like,
Yeah.
like get drunk and get a DUI or something and wait, or wait long enough to sober up. I don't know, but there's nothing worth fighting for in the parking lot.
Did you find that quote?
No, I didn't.
It's, you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
It's someone named Mr. DeBrown. He said, "Yeah, that's nice," in front of the kid who gets in car and rolls window up. How about more heaven yeah and less hell yeah?
Yeah, how about no? How about none of that? Yeah, the only thing whacker than this fight is that guy's take on the fight. So, yeah, all of you are Darvs of the Week. And all of you will be forced to watch the All-Star race format at Dover from here to eternity. I don't know how we'll make that happen, but that's your punishment. That's all you deserve.
All right, now it's time to dive into the septic tank.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Deep.
Isn't it? It is pretty deep this week. Of course, High Limit at Grandview, we just talked about that. Aaron Reitzel picking up a win there on national television again. So how about that? Clute, Texas, own Aaron Reitzel. Yeah, but World of Outlaws, we're at Eldora this weekend. Sorry, I wasn't ready for the septic tank here. I was looking at something else.
Still thinking about that Dover fight.
And all those slaps and little red cheeks that people got from that. But yeah, World of Outlaws at Eldora alongside USAC for the Let's Race 2 race, first major of the year at Eldora. Rico Abreu picking up a big win on Friday night, and then Logan Schuchart in the 1S returning to victory lane, which was really awesome to see. Had a nice little scrap with Brady Bacon and prevailed to get the victory there. First win in several months for Logan Schuchart, and it was particularly emotional because it's his first win since his granddad Bobby Allen passed away. So that was nice to see. He was sobbing pretty good in victory lane, and for good reason. But Logan back on top. That's good to see. Love the Shark Racing team, both halves of it, and yeah, feeling for Logan there. But nice for him to get, I don't know if I call it redemption, but nice to see him turn it around at a place as sacred as Eldora. USAC sprints were also there, as I mentioned previously. Kyle Cummins and Brady Bacon picking up wins there. Brady Bacon really turning it on in everything he's been driving lately. So if you play Dirt Draft or you're able to bet on him in any event for real money on DraftKings or something like that, I'd watch out for Brady Bacon because he's kind of on one right now. Lucas Oil late models were at Eagle, or they were supposed to be at Eagle for from Thursday to Saturday, but that mostly got rained out. Hudson O'Neal did pick up a win at Eagle on Thursday night, but the Friday prelim and the main event did get rained out, which is a damn shame because Eagle puts on a great show, and Hudson O'Neal definitely also turn it up right now. I saw that Dirt on Dirt now has him ranked as the #1 dirt late model driver in the country. I don't know if you care about power rankings or not, but that's pretty impressive when Bobby Pierce is living and breathing out there. So good for Hudson. Speaking of Bobby Pierce, he did pick up a World of Outlaw late model win at Georgetown last Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember
Wednesday.
what day it was. Wednesday, yeah.
That was the doubleheader night, both races were great.
Yeah. Who won the big block race again?
Yankowski. I mean, he's later down in the notes. I'm going to talk about him for a second. Nice.
Speaking of folks from Brian's corner of the world, Tim McCready picking up a win at Sealands Grove. That was awesome to see.
He did. They're very good.
And then you always talk about the sprint car Pennsylvania posse, but there is a late model posse as well, and they definitely showed up at Marion Center in Bedford. Logan Zarin picking up a win at Marion, and then Mason Ziegler picking up a win at Bedford on Sunday night. That's the only real race I watched on Sunday night. So
Sunday I had that and Super Dirt was on at the same time, so I had two screens going.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Loving these Sunday night shows. And also in great news in the World of Outlaw late models, Nick Hoffman is now on top of the points by 10 over Bobby Pierce. Perhaps that has something to do with him dropping down the Dirt on Dirt power rankings a little bit. Nick didn't win anything over the past week, but he certainly put up a lot of good finishes, a lot of seconds, a lot of top fives, and now he's in charge of the points over in the World of Outlaws, which is good news. On the asphalt side of things, NASCAR Woodland Modified Tour was at Seekonk for the JNR Precast 150. Did not go to this. I really should have. It was only an hour away, but I just really hate driving through Providence, and I had plenty of shit to do over the weekend, so spending another 2 or 3 hours on the road just didn't really seem like something I wanted to do. And if I did go, I would have been treated to a John McKennedy win, which would have made me throw up all over my shirt, which is crazy. So I didn't realize this, but it's been 4 years since John McKennedy's last NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour win. I guess that was the same year he won the championship, which is fucking nuts, because I've seen him win what feels like 100 modified races up here and the tri-track and all the open shows and all that. McKennedy's a badass, and to hear that he hasn't won for that long on the NASCAR tour it was quite the shock. I thought maybe the stat guy fucked it up, but I guess not. Steven Kopchik coming in second at Seekonk, proving that he is still, despite the fact that he didn't win the race, the most dangerous man in modified tour racing right now. Kind of crazy to hear John McKennedy shout him out for driving him clean. Clean driving and Steven Kopchik are things that you don't really hear in the same sentence very often, but dude's got a hot rod, and he's playing it nice this year. And Kopchik, I don't think he's even running the full tour, but I think he's still on top of the points last time I checked, so good for him. Chase Dowling coming in third in the Teneo 44. Love seeing that car out there. Chase always does good in it. Austin Beers and Tommy Catalano rounding out the top five. Rough night for Mikey Christopher, Matt Hirschman, who was the favorite going into this race because he's so good at Seekonk, and also Ron Silk having a rough night. But I think most of those guys were not on the lead lap at the end of it. But great race. It was over in like 45 minutes, which was fucking crazy. I was not expecting that. But, yeah, Seekonk is a hell of a place to watch a race, and I recommend you go there whenever you can, despite how goofy they can be sometimes. And I'm going to jump ahead in the notes here because I do have another Seekonk note. Of course, Seekonk, the track that had that goofy video policy, they announced early in the year that they had to walk back. And they... You know, for a track that thinks they can rely on growing it with their own social media, this is not proof of concept. They posted this reel, and I'm sure whoever made this tried really hard. And the reel itself looks good. It's edited nicely. It's of all the, kind of enduro figure eight stuff they do there. And it's got Inner Sandman going on in the background, right? The little do-do-do-do-do, like the opening riff. And it sounds a little off. You're like, oh, this is stock music. I can't wait for the riff to come in. But when it does, it's revealed that the kid who made the video probably also recorded the music for it at the same time, because it's just a solo. It sounds like you're in Guitar Center listening to somebody try out a BC Rich. It's just, it's so bad. So good on Seekonk for reversing their absolute fascist video policy. But yeah, I look forward to going to Seekonk at some point this year. It is a cool track, as much shit as I give them. But yeah, I wish I would have gone, because that was a great race. Probably my favorite race of the year on the tour so far.
Make sure you take some cool vids next
week. Oh yeah, I'm going to cover the shit out of whatever happens. But yeah, Brian, you were going to talk about Georgetown a little bit, and
Georgetown, excuse me, was another great race. They actually had the main event on the doubleheader that night, and Alex Jankowski held off Stuart Friesen to get his 5th career Super Dirt victory, first of the year. Christopher Bell ended up getting 5th or 6th, I want to say, and he did pretty well. Said he had a great time. And hopefully he gets back in one of those at some point, and sounds like he probably will, because he's got a good relationship with Stewie at this point.
That was his first time out in a big block, wasn't it?
Ever, yeah, first time ever. And
top 5 in a big block race is that's nothing to bat an eye at. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I mean, Stewie told him ahead of time that, like, just think of it like a sprint car with a body, which is kind of fair. I think if you look at the under the carriage of a big block, and hell, even back in the 80s, there were a few guys that ran literal sprint cars with modified bodies on them. So
that's true.
But yeah, that was his first victory of the weekend. He also won at Utica Rome. That was just a local race, but then he won the Super Dirt race at Cornwall, holding off Matt Williamson. So very good weekend for Kid Rocket, and very psyched to see it, and hopefully he brings that same energy to Mansfield in a couple months.
Yeah, both of us are Alex Jankowski fans, so I was happy to see all that go down.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of bad news, hot pit reporter Ashton Smith, you may have seen her being hot on Dirt Vision for the past few months. No longer on Dirt Vision for some pretty unsavory reasons. Apparently, she's one of those hot girls, and she got busted for animal abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, according to the police report, I won't get too into the nitty-gritty of it, but apparently she had a few animals in her apartment and would just, go work races for weeks at a time. And there were a couple cats she was keeping in a closet, and there was a dog in a crate. There was no food. There's trash and shit everywhere. And then she's now in jail, or was in jail. I'm sure she posted bail. Not from Dirt Vision, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully she ends up back in there, because there are very few offenses that bother me more than animal abuse. So fuck that.
Yeah, I agree. And I was actually thinking about this. A lot of different varying political views and lifestyle choices across the short track world and the racing world. A lot of us don't agree on a lot of stuff. But I think there's one thing that the entirety of the racing world could agree on. It's abusing dogs and cats, and we don't fuck with that shit. So,
yep.
Good luck finding a job, and we'll. And the worst part of this is that we no longer have a hot pit reporter in the World of Outlaw Dirt Late Models. So, what a shame. We still have Georgia Henneberry over in the IndyCar broadcast, but we gotta find somebody for the pits. That isn't whoever they have now. No disrespect, but there's always... anyway, I don't need to go too into that. But see you later, Ashton. A couple more Dirt Late Model notes here. Brandon Shepard picking up a win at Coles County in the Mars Tour. That was cool to see. Actually, I guess that is the only... late model note I have left. A couple more sprint car races this weekend. There was a big show at Port Royal. I believe it was on Saturday night. Looked a lot like a high limit race. Basically, anyone who didn't go to Eldora showed up at Port. Aaron Reitzel, Tanner Thorson, Dason Pursley in the field. Also, Kasey Kahne returning to the 39M yet again. He had a good run. He got a top 5 out of the deal, which seems to be what he does now. He just gets top 5s in Anthony Macri's cars, so good for him. Let's see here. Chase Dietz picking up a win. That was pretty cool to see. He beat Aaron Reitzel and Troy Wagaman Jr. Also, so happy to see this. The Shark 1A, of course, that's Jacob Allen's team. It was Bobby and Jacob's team. Now it's just Jacob's, now that Bobby's passed away. They did return to action for the first time since shuttering the team for a couple weeks and kind of regrouping. Cameron Smith was in the car and did a hell of a job. He also got a top 5 out of the deal. 6th, I think, actually. He got 6th, yeah, which is very respectable. Won his heat. Nice little turnaround for the 1A. Hopefully there's more Cameron Smith in that car, because he did a great job, and hopefully we see the 1A a lot more out there. And now my favorite piece of racing of the entire week. So I don't really watch much from Berlin Speedway. It's a great place. It's a killer facility in Michigan. But my buddy, friend of the program and friend of all my Eldora and Dirt Late Model friends, Ricky LaDuke, of course, he's the drummer of Myron Elkin's band. He landed him a ride in a modified in the Michigan Modified Tour. I think it's his second start ever in one of these things. And this dude qualifies pretty well. I think he qualified 6th or something like that. Maybe it was 8th, I forget. They inverted. I forget what the number was, but he ended up starting 4th and just proceeded to pick these guys off one by one, like he's been doing it his whole life in a modified. He's got a lot of experience, but again, the modified is not something he's done much of. And just proceeded to dick stomp the field at Berlin and picked up a big win on Flow Racing, and I was about to flip the fucking table down here. You were very fired up. I was so stoked. It's not often that somebody I know and have spent a lot of time with, because Ricky and I, we don't see each other often, but he's in a group there with me and Kyle and Ken Bob and all those guys, and anytime we see each other, it's a several beer, several hour hang kind of night. I've stood at the top of turn 3 at Eldora with him till about 4 in the morning, shooting the shit about life and all that. We've played festivals in Europe together. It's not often you meet people that have a lot of the same interests as you do, or so as I do, because mine are very strange when it comes to society at large. But yeah, seeing Ricky pick that up was fucking badass. He got out and slapped the roof, and man, we're all real proud of Ricky. He's got a few more runs in that car coming up, it sounds like. It sounds like he's going to be facing off against Kenny Wallace here in one of those modifieds coming up. Also, Ryan Newman was in the field, and his daughter. That was a cool little story there. They were both out there. I forget where they finished, but who fucking cares? It was Ricky LaDuke picking up the win. I almost wanted to bring him on the show this week, but I just didn't have time to really get that organized. But congratulations to him. Watching him rip through lap traffic was fucking amazing. He must have been thinking about Scott Bloomquist or something when he's in there, because he was doing stuff you do not see modifieds do very often. He was carving traffic like it was a dirt car, like splitting lanes and just ripping the top when no one else was really doing that, and just absolute dominance. And it was fucking awesome to see. Berlin is a great racetrack, and all their entire program is on Flow Racing. So if you're looking for something to watch while you're waiting for something else, you don't have anything else you want to tune into, and you see Berlin on your TV screen on the Flow app, then I would highly recommend checking it out. That place is legendary, and you might get to see my homie Ricky pick up a big win there.
It's not a good place if you're going to meet an underage girl off the internet, though.
No, not at all. As we've outlined previously on this show. That was Berlin, wasn't it?
Well, that's awesome for him. We'll have to bring him on the show another time.
Yeah, Ricky's a killer dude, and I know Myron and the boys have a new record coming out pretty soon, and we'll talk about that whenever that's about to get shot out of the cannon into the ether. Again, this is the greatest weekend of motorsports out there. The Canadian Grand Prix this weekend, but who fucking cares? It's Indy 500, baby, and the Coke 600. That alone is more racing than most people can handle. But if you got it real bad like I do, you can tune into Flow Racing and watch USAC at Terre Haute and Circle City. Also in the Indy area, the Little 500 at Anderson is on Saturday night. That's an awesome deal. I'm sorry, it's on Friday night. I'm not sure where you watch that one. That's not on Flow Racing, I don't think, but it's definitely worth checking it out. You'll see some big-time Silver Crown guys, and I think Ryan Newman's run it plenty of times. Ryan Newman runs everything, so who knows? Maybe he's there. But Little 500's awesome, and that's at Anderson Speedway. High Limit spinning the weekend at Port Royal. World of Outlaws are going to be at Jacksonville. They're going to pop into Knoxville and Houston as well for a little Memorial Day 1-2. Lucas Oil's going to be at Wheatland if the weather holds out, but it sounds like the Show Me 100 might be a complete wash, but I guess we'll see how that goes. ASA Stars Tour is going to be at Hickory.
They are. Chase Elliott's going to be in that race.
That's right.
And fucking Kasey Kahne.
Kasey Kahne. You wanted the best, you got the rest. And also, the Granite State Pro Stocks, the series I technically work for, make their return to Claremont Speedway. That's right. That's going to be on pitrow.tv on Friday night. It was supposed to be on Sunday, but due to some classic short track rescheduling and making sure we actually had cars fucking show up, the Granite State Pro Stocks will be there on Friday night. That's going to be a great show. Great Pro Stock tour up here. Should have a pretty decent car count and some pretty heavy hitters in there. My heart's with Tom Carey. Hopefully he pulls it off. But we'll all find out. And if you do get to watch it, that'll be me putting Tom Carey's name up on the screen when he gets a win. And of course, Eddie McDonald, all sorts of big timers going to be there. That's going to be a lot of fun. Despite the fact that this weekend at Claremont is causing me to not throw my annual blackout barbecue in my backyard. But it is what it is. Again, greatest weekend of motorsports. There's so much of it, and make sure you consume as much as you can because it doesn't get much better than this. And with that, we're going to flush it down, and we're going to watch Darrell Waltrip do a burnout.
I did warn you guys ahead of time that I was almost definitely going to watch this entire broadcast, and I did. Not a ton to note, but I took a few notes of the hour and a half that preceded this burnout contest.
Well, I got to run out and get cigarettes anyway, so this is probably a good time. I'll be right back.
The broadcast started with a promo featuring Ric Flair and a bunch of different drivers, just kind of, wrestling style promo.
I did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. You had to at least see that. This was a Speed TV, it was Speed Channel back then broadcast, and For some reason, they handed out a bunch of "Look Ma, I'm on Speed TV" signs with the faces cut out, but nobody was holding them upright, so that just looks stupid. Let's see, there was a story on an artist named Gary Hill who did a bunch of cool prints about just different moments in Charlotte history and racing history at different tracks. This was in the midst of the Jeremy Mayfield scandal, and they mentioned that, and Kenny and Jimmy Spencer kind of don't want to say anything, but they do mention that Ryan Newman was skeptical of the whole deal and was asking to see the drug tests, which I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a dog move right there. I like that.
Yep. We see a baby Joey Logano. He is still 18 at this point. We also get to see Sam Hornish's cool-ass sideburns.
Yep, those were around for a while.
Ridiculous. There is a guy that proposes to his girlfriend during the pre-show, but the girlfriend is not there. She's at home, so he's doing this with a cardboard sign. And we later, the next commercial break, we get an update. Apparently, she must have called him or something. Somehow she actually watched this, and she said yes, apparently. So I'm sure that marriage went well.
What a dog move right there.
Yep. We get an interview with a baby Brad Keselowski, who didn't even know he was qualified for the race a week ago because he had just won Talladega in the Mikasuki car. Mm-hmm. So that was his first time back in that car since the race he won. So that was cool. I don't know the context of this, but Jimmy Spencer pronounced the word cojones, cajunis. You get a quote from...
Real quick, not to cut you off, and this is way off topic, but not really, since Kenny Wallace is also in this. Kenny Wallace on DBC this week, and at one point he pronounced Raja Karut's name Raha, which I don't know. That guy's been down to Cabo one too many times, I think. But anyway, that just triggered my brain to remember that. Continue.
Well, speaking of Kenny, I just out of context quote from him. Mark the Kid Martin is a bottom feeder. I thought that was funny. They show, for some reason, Hermie Sadler was in some sort of I don't know, it was a Fox car or what, but he must have been doing some sort of laps around the track, and they show him spinning the car out, and everybody just makes fun of him for that.
Nice.
Kevin Costner is there. I guess he did a NASCAR Foundation commercial with Kyle Petty, and he just talked about how both him and Kyle weren't commercial guys. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And also his band played the pre-show concert opening for Montgomery Gentry. And then
did
Rutledge...
have a band, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then Rutledge asks, if I build it, will they come? And then Kevin just gets real awkward because he's been asked that shit a million times, and he just tells a story about how, people say quotes to him all the time, and it seems like it kind of annoys him, but, he gets through it.
Don't make movies. I don't know.
They go over the truck race. Happened, I guess, the night prior, and they show a wreck where Kyle Busch wrecks two different trucks at the same time. And first off, Jimmy Spencer goes, I don't think he did anything wrong. And then they show a different angle, and then he immediately changes his mind. And then he calls Ron Hornaday horny as he's winning, and Kenny is dumbfounded. He audibly half gasps, half laughs at this quote. And then we see a tour of the Stewart-Haas facilities, which that team was still in its infancy at this point. So yeah, that's all the shit that you guys did watch. Those are the highlights. Wasn't a whole lot to talk about there.
It's pretty good.
And now we're on to this burnout challenge. So basically, there were 7 guys in it. 6 current guys. It was Kasey Kahne, Jeff Gordon, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Biffle, and Darrell Waltrip for some reason. The format is basically just 30 seconds to do your thing, and if the car hits the wall or goes in the grass, you're DQ'd. As I mentioned, DW is in it, and he said he actually had to practice because he wasn't really used to doing burnouts. The judges for this event were Jimmy Spencer, Kevin Costner, both Montgomery and Gentry, Randy Moss, and Ric Flair. Just a completely wild booth for a NASCAR broadcast. Kyle Busch is interviewed prior to this, and he seems pretty nonplussed about the whole thing, and he's kind of throwing shade at both DW and Biffle, because apparently Biffle, too, practiced a little bit before this. This whole deal, the cars were furnished by the Jeff Gordon Driving School, which is around at this time, and I don't know why there were how the passengers got in the car, but each car had a passenger in it while they were doing the burnouts. Jeff Gordon was up first. It didn't really have much smoke coming off the line. He did a couple donuts, and that was it. His total was 50 points, and at this point, both Ric Flair and Randy Moss looked bored as hell.
Oh, yeah, they're like, this is it, huh?
They interviewed Greg Biffle afterwards, and he just goes, "I think that was pathetic." He's like, "I didn't know what else to say."
This is
so that was pretty funny.
Braces era Biffle.
Yep.
Yep.
DW's up next. He could not smoke the tires. He immediately goes into these like half donuts, and then he hits the grass. So he's technically DQ'd, but the judges still give him a score anyways. They're all just like shuffling their numbers, so they don't know what the fuck to do, and they give him a 39.
To be fair, burnouts is not something that Darrell Waltrip ever did.
No, and he mentions that when he's interviewed later. He's comparing shoes with his passenger, but he mentions that, like, back in the day, like, Junior Johnson would have fired him if he did a burnout after the race. So he wasn't used to this. Jeff Gordon and Kasey Kahne kind of rag on DW. Jeff says that DW wasn't listening in the driver's meeting, apparently. Kevin Harvick's up next. He immediately just goes into pretty much like full burnout mode. Does a couple donuts, but then just sits in a burnout for a while. Apparently, they turned his car off. He thought his car just shit the bed, but they turned his car off, so he turns his car back on and keeps burning the tires. This whole time, Kenny Wallace is just talking about he wants to see drivers like blow the tires up, and Kevin was the only one that came close. He got some chords going after his. Everybody gave him 10s aside from Ric Flair and Jimmy Spencer. He got a 58. Let's see.
They called Kevin Harvick, they kept calling him K-Harv, and I was like, man, that didn't stick.
Yeah, ugh, I don't like that at all.
Also, there was a shot of Delana filming Harvick doing his burnout on something called a flip cam.
Yeah.
And Kenny Wallace said, "That's the camera I use on my Facebook."
Yep, that was in my notes.
I was watching this with Andy, and he immediately goes like 3 feet away and pulls one out of the bag.
Yeah, I think everybody in any band I ever had, there was at least 2 flip cams in the van. Totally forgotten now that cell phones are essentially flip cams.
Yeah. Let's see. Kasey Kahne is the next driver. Kind of a almost similar run to Jeff Gordon. Kenny Wallace, quote, "They love him. He's good looking." Ric Flair, who probably
very
wasn't
dreamy.
Yeah. Oh, he's still dreamy.
He's always very dreamy.
Ric Flair gave him a 10, and I don't think he was even watching. Kasey got a 53. Next up is probably the most entertaining run of the whole thing. Kyle Busch. Dog shit burnout to start. He just starts drifting. He hits the wall, and then he just starts knocking over all the pylons on purpose, which is pretty cool. We also hear Ric Flair utter, "Are you shitting me?" On camera, so that was good. And again, the guys don't know what to do. Half of them give scores, and half of them don't. He gets a 30, and he gets booed, which isn't a surprise. After his entry, he talks about how he wanted to get his wreck out of the way because apparently he'd wrecked in the last 2 All-Star races, and he bitched that the cars didn't have much power, so that's why his burnout wasn't as good. And then they interview the guy, I think Darren Ravel, I think he's another pit reporter or something. They interview him as he was Kyle's passenger, and he did not seem happy about hitting the wall. So that was funny. And then Greg Biffle is next. And again, another long sideways burnout into a bunch of donuts, and they note how nobody seems to care in the crowd. Kevin Costner's quote. He says, "They're all professional vandals, and I think I know who destroyed our football field at one time." And then Clint Boyer's up next, and he just does another quick burnout into a bunch of donuts, and it's really nothing special. Kevin Harvick ends up winning. He actually got a trophy that I'm sure was probably very quickly given away or auctioned off for a charity or something.
Oh, yeah. Speedway Children's Charity had that within 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then Ric Flair said DW bribed him with merch, and that's why he gave him such a high score.
Rick seemed drunk the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, this was funny. Again, not the most exciting contest, but at least it's something. Like, don't do this shit now. And there's only so much you can do with a car doing burnouts in a freestyle competition. So, I mean, it is what you expect as far as that is concerned. But overall, I think it was a fun little time capsule into when the sport was still healthy and they'd still do weird, random shit like this as a precursor to the main event. So I thought it was fun, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, I feel like I remember watching this, even though, what is this, 2009?
Yeah.
I was kind of my party days too, but
Yeah.
a couple notes that I had were one of my favorite quotes from Jimmy Spencer. He's talking to Kevin Costner, and he tells him, "Dancing with the Wolves is my favorite movie." Also, on the scoring graphic that they kept showing on the screen, they spelled it Kasey Kahne, Kahen. So,
Isn't that how it's spelled?
no, it's Kahne. It's Kasey Kahne. They spelled it Kahne.
Oh, I see. I was going back to check my spelling in the notes
Yeah,
here.
they fixed it on the very last one, but leading up to that, they disrespected my boy. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree.
I probably would go back and go watch, put the whole thing on in the background, just.
Yeah, it's very good.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah, ambient NASCAR content for sure. To me, this is dually. I took a couple of things away from this. One, this shows the sort of apathy towards, or the apathetic feeling that NASCAR kind of had at this time that I remember a little bit. The fans kind of don't give a shit. It seems a little half-assed. The judges aren't interested. It's kind of like.
Yeah, that's all fair.
But also, this is the kind of stuff that I think NASCAR should do now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of energy behind it, and it's entertaining, and it's something for fans to go check out that actually involves drivers, cars, teams, the whole thing. So I would hope that they would bring something like this back. Again, the All-Star race used to have a lot more going on, and this is part of the deal back then. And now that we're kind of in a what I feel is a better place, and with an ad campaign that. It's called Hell Yeah is the name of the fucking campaign. So
Heaven yeah.
Heaven Yeah. Yeah, I think give it 4 years. I think that this would go over well, however they would do it, especially at a place like Bowman Gray, or if they move the All-Star race if they keep moving it to places that aren't Charlotte. If they're doing it at a short track or a place that's a little bit better of a venue than Dover or Texas, for fuck's sake, I think this would go off pretty well, in my opinion. And I don't know if I would go if I was actually at the track. This seems like drinking beer in the parking lot thing, and judging by how many cars and campers were out there, I feel like that's what most of the attendees chose to do. But yeah, I would like to see more of this in modern NASCAR. It's fun. We need more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make it feel like an actual all-star event.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so video of the week this week. So we're going to be pretty raced out by the end of this weekend. So I picked a couple short little videos to talk about. Since we're going to be in Nashville next week, they are all Nashville related. A couple from, one from 1988 is a NASCAR Winston Racing Series marketing video for Nashville Speedway. It's like a little 12-minute video. Seems interesting and weird. Then I found a little 6-minute clip from an episode of Nashville Now in 1984. It is a Tin Lizzy race, which is like those old-timey, got a crank to stardom races featuring Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, Tim Richmond, and Darrell Waltrip.
That's cool.
And then we are in the Music City. So how about a little music? We're going to watch Kyle Petty doing a song called Nothing a Little Love Won't Cure.
Oh, Nashville Now,
live
right?
On Nashville Now.
I've seen that.
So, three little short ones this week. So
Very cool.
we'll talk about those next week. Yeah.
That's good. Oh, before we close the show out, there's one thing we did not talk about that I meant to add to the notes. 2027 Hall of Fame inductees got announced. Kevin Harvick winning. That's a no-brainer. I think everyone saw that one coming. Jeff Burton being the other modern era ballot.
That was surprising. You would have thought Biffle would have got it.
Or Neil Bonnet. And that's the thing about this. There's so many. Every single one of those guys deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Like Ernie Elliott needs to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. He needs to be, and Banjo Matthews, all these. But I think that was the Pioneer ballot, which I'm so stoked to say that Larry Phillips picked up the win. I absolutely did not see that coming. I figured he's going to be one of those guys that floated around for years and maybe never even got a shot at it, unfortunately. But fortunately, that's not the case. Larry Phillips, one of the most successful NASCAR All-American Series drivers, if that's what you want to call it. He raced, he had over 1,000 wins, something like that. Dude's a fucking monster, and he was great on dirt, too. So very, very excited to see him get his flowers because I really wasn't expecting that. But again, such a deep field of people who all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully at some point they all do make it in. Felt bad for all the Elliott fans out there not seeing Ernie get in there this time, but kind of is what it is.
I didn't expect him to get in this time, but maybe a few years down the road.
Yeah, definitely shocked that Biffle didn't get it.
That was the most surprising for me.
I think in any other circumstance, that's not. It wouldn't have been a surprise, but given his passing and all the work he did after the hurricanes and sort of this new reputation he's gained, not that it was ever bad to begin with, but I kind of figured that would sway things, but I guess not, and we'll wait till next year because I think next year is probably going to be easier.
Yeah, I think I saw that he was actually fourth, got the fourth most votes behind Harvick, Burton, and Neil Bonnet. So
interesting. Yeah, Larry Phillips, good news. Let's get Ray Elder in there next. How about that? Let's keep working on these short track guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, as always, you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Meetmeatapplebees. I am Speedway Screens on all the things. SpeedwayTSJ.etsy.com. MMA Applebee's at checkout for 15% off, but I will be doing a big 25% off sale all weekend, so you won't need the code.
Damn.
Nice. Still Snake Mountain Truelove. I am exhausted. I will not be leaving my house for the foreseeable future. I will be watching all the races from home in great detail.
Go watch with your neighbor. Go hang out with your neighbor.
She's going to be in Charlotte.
The racing grandma or the racing
that's right.
racing teacher.
I think I'm the racing grandma at this point.
Yeah, that's for sure. Rob Motes _ unofficial on Instagram. My band is called These Wild Plains. Charlie Marie's record comes out next week, I believe. So I think maybe the show next week will be the last show we do before that comes out. So I'll give you more details then. But again, thanks to everyone who came out to the show in Turner's Falls. It was great. I meant to try and watch some racing when I was in the green room, but instead I had to help debug our broadcast since I wasn't there up at Claremont. So even though I wasn't working, I was still working. But speaking of Claremont, I'll be there all weekend. So if anyone's up in New Hampshire, holler at me. Let's go have a beer or something. And like I said, if you know a good place in New Hampshire for a guy like me to watch an IndyCar race on a Sunday, please let me know because I'm in the market for such an establishment.
Probably that same place you watched the truck race at, right?
I don't know if they're open that early, but that's definitely that's first on the list.
They are.
Yeah, I bet you they might be. The Polish American Club in Claremont.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. And with that, the check is here. So thanks for joining us again at Applebee's, and we'll talk to y'all next week.